everyone. My name is Peter Ryan. For a number of years, I had the privilege and pleasure of being on the board and executive of LifeCanada. I've always been so proud of the articulate and engaging way in which LifeCanada has stood up for life and defended the most vulnerable. Through the years, LifeCanada has unfailingly offered high-quality educational services, programs, and campaigns that tackle the big issues of our time and has done so in a most professional and engaging way. Recently, LifeCanada has opened a new chapter that augurs well for a promising future. I can only offer everyone associated with LifeCanada my very best wishes in all your activities, both present and future. LifeCanada is greatly needed. Canada needs LifeCanada. God bless you all. Bye now.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the LifeCanada National Virtual Gala 2021. My name is Pat Wiedemer, and I'm going to be one of your hosts this evening, together with Mr. George Glover. Please say hello, George.
Good evening, Pat. Good evening, everybody. Great to have you with us.
Thanks for coming. George and I are coming both live from our various spots in Canada. I'm coming from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, because this is where I live, and I'm also working for the BEI Life Association. And George is coming to us from London, Ontario, so the other end of Canada. And I'd like to say that there's so many people today who are taking part in this gala this evening. Literally from coast to coast, from BC through to the East Coast and Atlantic and provinces. And we welcome you all today. I'm Pat, as I said, I'm the board president for the LifeCanada National. That's my role. I also do some work as the interim executive director. So you may have seen some information coming from that until we find a new executive director in the coming year. So we're really looking forward to that happening. George, could you tell us perhaps, so what is our goal tonight? What are we going to be doing tonight?
Well, our goal tonight, and for everybody watching, is $25,000 to help change lives, to help inspire and engage the next generation for the preborn and all the way to helping those at end of stage life. So there's very little in life, Pat, as we all know, and for those of you that are watching, that happens without team. And together, we can help change the nation for life with your support tonight. So our goal is $25,000. And of course, we have a thermometer on the side of the screen there, and you're going to see that thermometer climb up tonight with your donations as you call in.
This is absolutely wonderful. I'm so excited to see this happening. This is my first time doing this, so I'm kind of excited all about this, and I hope I do it well. So I've got lots of technical support, and in fact, I want to do a quick shout out to all the men and women who are in the backgrounds. There are so many who help us make this possible. We'd love to be in a real-time gala, like person to person, but the way it is, that's just not possible right now. So isn't it grand that we have this medium to be able to communicate with? And it certainly wouldn't happen without the many background people who I know are frantically working to keep us in your picture tonight. So thank you, everyone who's doing that and who has been involved up to now to make this possible. So our gala tonight is going to try and raise funds for the work that LifeCanada National does. LifeCanada National, as many of you know, has recently merged together with the Vancouver Life Community, two very strong organizations that have had a long history in working to become that voice for life across Canada. Above all, we want now to be a stronger voice in a national capacity, even stronger than we were before. This means that we can better support our over 50 member groups that we have in Canada. Part of our new goal as well is to give our churches resources, the Catholics and our Protestants, various denominations, anyone who is interested in that, because there's so much aligned in fighting for the good of life in that. And another good that we have started this past year was our media campaigns. In fact, I shouldn't say we started, we just had one, I should say, because they've been going on for a long time. These are bus ads, various billboards, and so forth that you might have seen across Canada. So that's to the broader public that we reach out. Some of the specific programs that we have are our Young Professional Lounge. This is certainly a feather in the cap for the Vancouver Life community. And this is a program that offers mentorship to young adults to help connect them with professionals in their field who hold a pro-life view of the world and how to incorporate that in their everyday work. Fascinating area for both young and the experienced. Our other Starlet program is most certainly one you're familiar with, the Dying Healed program. This is an outreach program to train volunteers to go into the homes and parishes, communities, and make time for life with the elderly and the vulnerable in their community so that they know they are not alone. We train volunteers and we train facilitators to train those volunteers. So lots of work in that area. And lastly, I also wanted to point out the lovely national conferences that we have. Absolute wonderful experiences for anybody who's attended one. We really hope that we're going to be able to get one together for the 2022 year. With all good luck and good health, we'll be able to meet in 2022 in the spring or summer of this year. So hoping that's all going to work. So those are just some of the things you're going to hear about tonight. George, have you got anything more to add onto this opening section that we have?
Well, it's true. We want to challenge you folks tonight to pick up the phone, and we have ladies right now in the office. Our goal, as mentioned here, is we want to raise $25,000 to grow our programs, to improve the quality of our programs, and really to reach the next generation, engage the grassroots of people across Canada, particularly that really are passionate and want to know more about the pro-life movement, understand it better, and have better quality resources. And so we just want to challenge you to give whatever you can. We're also asking people to consider joining as a monthly partner to help support our work year-round. For as little as $25 a month, you can be part of our members club and partner with us on a monthly basis and have greater access to our executive team supporting as a monthly donor. Also tonight, we're going to have 3 giveaways. We're going to have an Echo Dot speakers, 3 of them. We're going to have 3 draws tonight, 1 at each occasion here throughout the evening. And to participate in that and have your name entered in the draw, we're asking you to simply make a comment in the comment section. There's a picture on screen there of that Alexa Bluetooth. You can speak into Alexa there and say, "Call Mom," or whatever you want to do. But it's a great little technology device. We're giving 3 of them away tonight. So if you enter your comments in there or questions tonight, our staff will be there available to take those and pass those along to Pat and myself. And to be entered in the draw tonight for these 3 giveaways, you need to make a comment in the comments section, and then we'll note it and enter your name into the draw. So we're going to have lots of fun. We're going to hear from Ashley Bratcher a little bit later on in the program. But LifeCanada now, since it's been operating for about 20 years now, this organization stands on the shoulders of people that have gone before and grown this organization, founded it, and got it going. And one of those is Monica Rodis, who is one of the past presidents. You heard from Peter Ryan just moments ago, but now we're going to hear from Monica Rodis, who is one of the past presidents of LifeCanada. We hope you enjoy this little video segment of what she has to share.
Good evening. I'm Monica Rodis from Abbotsford, British Columbia, and I was president of LifeCanada for 4 years, and I love LifeCanada. I've been a supporter of LifeCanada since it began in 2000, and I'm asking you to become a supporter as well. LifeCanada has developed many excellent life-affirming initiatives over the years, including the Dying Healed program aimed at end-of-life care, the Adoption in Canada campaign, which offered awareness and information on adoption to the young pregnant woman considering her options to enable her to support life, our very valuable polls, and many more initiatives and campaigns to assist our member groups. Life Canada was formed to unite pro-life organisations from coast to coast to coast and has become the leader in providing valuable educational resources to both local and provincial pro-life groups. In a world where, sad to say, we continue to see acceptance of abortion, the destruction of God's gift of life in the womb at the beginning of life, and those most vulnerable at the end of life by euthanasia, Life Canada seeks to promote a culture of life. I'm so happy to be part of this wonderful gala evening, which gives us the opportunity to fulfill our commitment to this culture of life by supporting the future growth and effectiveness of Life Canada. I look forward to hearing about future plans that will help change public attitudes, that will recognise the sanctity of human life, so that in our country, all human life will, in God's good time, be protected, loved, and cared for. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Monica. I think that's just so wonderful words of encouragement. I had a recent delight to speak with Monica on the phone a couple of times, and we got into all sorts of wonderful things about chatting. She's a grandmother, and I was just so thrilled to know that there are people who have spent their lives working for the good of life, to be that voice in so many capacities. Monica truly belongs to one of the founders of the Life Canada organization, and there are so many out there who have been working literally 30, 40, some 50 years working on this and continuing to speak life wherever they go. So whenever you see one of our faces or the new groups today or the young kids out on the street speaking life and engaging in conversations, we always know that we come from a long history of people who have built us up to where we are today. And a huge thank you goes to the many, many men and women. Monica's one of the faces that we got to see, we know. But how many do we have been there who have not had their names and written into presidentships and so forth, but who have still continued to work for life in their communities, their churches, their homes, their work offices. So this is what Life Canada is so much about. And we continue to be those voices wherever we go. Life Canada, of course, as in our capacity as an association, we want to be that national voice and be able to be unified in that same direction, despite all the many differences and the beauty of the movement from all the different aspects that we have. So thank you, Monica, and thank you to many others who also are watching tonight, who are part of that foundation generation, sustainer generation, and the many who are going to be the future generation of Life Canada. So what do we have done now, George? Have we got perhaps a giveaway or some interesting things to talk about next?
Well, Pat, thank you. We're going to have a giveaway in not just a few minutes from now after we have another video, but we want to just remind you, we've had some calls come in, remind you how to donate tonight. You can phone our toll-free number by calling 1-866-780-5433. We have 3 lovely ladies who work for either Vancouver Life Community or for our office in the Ottawa Valley, and they're there live waiting to take your calls. We had a few calls come in. We've had some donations come in. And so you're starting to see that little thermometer on the screen go up. Help us get that red thermometer all the way to the top tonight to our $25,000 goal. Maybe you can give $1,000 tonight. Maybe you can give 100. But whatever you give tonight, know that it's going to help grow the work of Life Canada across our nation. All right. And one of the exciting things that's happening, of course, is that LifeCanada National now has a CRA registered charity number, which means that when you donate tonight, you'll be receiving an official tax receipt for your gift in the new year when we send out our tax receipts. That's a new development that has just happened in the last few months. So that's something we're very excited about, which means that you're going to be able to give to this organization, knowing that it's stewarded well and knowing that you can reduce your tax obligations by getting a tax receipt from LifeCanada National's office. Okay, so we're just privileged to have you with us tonight. And it's my honor now to introduce to you Pat Wiedemer in the capacity of Executive Director of PEI Life. And she and PEI Life Association has been a member, one of many across the nation with LifeCanada National. And so now we're going to go to a short little video from PEI Life and Executive Director Pat Wiedemer.
Hello everyone, this is Pat and I am the LifeCanada National new board chair. Today I'm standing here at Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island because I also am the executive director for PEI Life. This very spot, about 160 years ago in 1864, is where the fathers and mothers of Confederation stepped off their ships to come to Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island and talk about the Confederation of our country. Their main goal was unity, and that's why I'm speaking to you tonight, because that also is a main point and focal point for LifeCanada National. Our goal is to unite the member groups, the donors, the supporters, all those of people who are interested in providing a life-affirming message from coast to coast across Canada. We want to be one voice, to be strong and be directed in purposeful in our messaging and in our resources of what we can provide to Canadians. Our member groups, we have over 50 of them. Many of them are small and struggling, but the latest merger that we have taken place together with Vancouver Life, now we are able to provide more resources and opportunities for them to grow. We also continue to offer Dying Healed program to teach people how to competently and confidently spend time or make time for life in their communities with the elderly and the vulnerable. We also now, because of Vancouver Life Community, can proudly offer their program, Young Professionals Lounge. This is an outreach to young adults across Canada now and teaching them or offering them opportunities to engage in life-affirming conversation of how to master our world in their complicated times today. I encourage you, rethink how we see the pro-life movement in Canada. What more can we do? How much stronger can we be? What do we need to add into our activities to reach the generation today? The next generation are the ones who are going to be carrying on the torch. So how can we get that message to them in a competent and in a way that they can understand and want to receive? That's one of our biggest goals right there. We want to show support and unity across our country in these troubling times right now. And above all, we want you to be able to take the life-affirming message right home to your house, to your community, to your sports club, to your office, to wherever you work, that you are empowered to speak life wherever you go. And if LifeCanada National can be a part of that in changing our country to a life-affirming and uplifting country, then we have done our job well. My vision is great and beyond, and we are just at the beginning of this. Like the Fathers of Confederation, many things have changed, and many things have changed since the year we started in Life Canada. So on to the new future, on to great times, and to great insight of our world today. This is for Canada, and this is that we may have a strong voice in the world today, in your homes and in my home, from coast to coast.
Welcome back, everybody. That was me in Charlottetown, PEI. So shout out to my good friends and all the people from PEI who are watching tonight and supporting us through that way. I feel very uplifted knowing that you're all with us and helping us from coast to coast. And as a personal note, when I think of, whoops, my little earphone here is falling out. There we go. Got it. When I think about the wonderful opportunity through Life Canada, it's, as a small province, this is for us, that's a really great asset. You know, how is it that such a tiny province, the smallest province in Canada, can engage in national debates, knowledge, wisdom, and find out what the others are doing so that we might be able to apply it here. These are some of the great advantages of being involved in a national group. It only enhances my work here in Prince Edward Island, and I'm sure many of the other provincial leaders feel the very same way in their groups, being able to connect with each other. So this is one of the great things why I feel that PEI Life has to be a part, and is a part, and always has been a part of Life Canada. And we're going to hear from some others who are also that way, because they've also been engaged. So that's more coming up on that. So I'm going to give it over to George for a few minutes now, and he's going to talk to you about something.
All right, thanks, Pat. Just a quick update. Our phones are ringing, and the website, people are going to our website at LifeCanada.org, and we want to thank you for that, for your generosity. We just had a donation come in from Ontario for $800, and another one for $250, and another one for $75. So
wow.
We want to thank you. We're inching toward our goal this evening. And we just so thank you for picking up the phone or going to our website and saying, I want to invest in the work of LifeCanada National to reach the next generation and do more to advance pro-life values across our nation. And so if you want to donate tonight, you can do it through the mail after the gala's over tonight by mailing a check to us in our office in Carleton Place, Ontario. Or you can go to our website tonight or anytime after the program's over tonight by going to lifecanada.org. Or, of course, if you'd like to speak to one of the ladies tonight, there's 3 of them there ready to take your calls. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear your comments or questions by calling us at 1-866-780-5433. And of course, the other thing to remind you tonight is that we would love to hear your comments there as you're there on the live stream feed on YouTube. There's a chat opportunity there, chat box. You can put in your comments and questions. And one of the ladies that's working production behind the scenes, she'll get those questions and comments over to us. And to receive a chance to win that one of those 3 Echo Dot Bluetooth speakers tonight, then to be included in that draw as we go through the evening night and hold those draws, we need to have at least one comment from you in the comments section. So get those fingers rolling on the keyboard and send us a question or a comment. We want to hear from you. Okay. Now, over the last months, it's been my privilege, actually over the last year as the development director for LifeCanada National, to get to know some of the different leaders across the nation. And one of those that is in partnership with us tonight is the executive director of Vancouver Life Community that also operates the Young Professionals mentorship program and a young adults program that they operate there in the Vancouver area. And that person is Annabelle Chong, and it's my delight to introduce you to her right now.
Good evening from beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. I'm Annabelle Chong, Executive Director of Vancouver's Life Community. We are honored to partner tonight with Life Canada in their national pro-life work as they reach our nation with innovative strategies to advance pro-life values. Our exciting program called the Young Professionals Lounge, or otherwise known as the YP Lounge, have developed events to spotlight young adults whose careers directly assist in building a culture of life. During these events, we also discuss dating, life, family, marriage, culture, and a variety of pro-life topics. But now we want to extend our reach and impact. That's why we need your help tonight. Your valuable support will help these other programs grow. First, we aim to hold educational luncheons for life held monthly or at various parishes and churches. Second, we want more exciting in-person young adult events to discuss trending pro-life issues. Finally, mentorship programs for young adults to help them become the next generation of pro-life leaders. There really are no limits on how creative and innovative young people can be. They just need inspiration. As you watch tonight, please consider giving a special gift to help our national work and to help reach the next generation. A gift of $10 or $20 a month will sustain our work year-round. Thank you from all of us at Life Canada, all the way from Vancouver, British Columbia.
Well, thank you, Annabelle. And I have to say, Annabelle is actually the creator of the Young Professional Lounge. A number of years ago, she came up with the idea in Vancouver, the Vancouver Life community, that they should be offering or outreaching to the young professional group. And that means those students, those young adults who have just gone into professions, and giving them some opportunities to discuss different ways of viewing the world. One of those ways is a mentorship program. So as we mentioned earlier on, there are professionals who have been in their careers for a number of years who were willing to come and speak with the young crowd and help them master all the various challenges and questions that they might have in challenging the way the world presents things and the way we as pro-lifers see things. This has been very successful over the past years. She's done spotlight webinars, videos. She's done in-person events. COVID, of course, put a little line through a number of the in-person things, but that didn't stop Annabelle. She kept working, and we've been able to offer a couple of webinars with the YP Lounge. The most recent one dealt with health and issues of good living and good choices in healthy living styles, which was an absolute wonderful presentation. And now we have the great honor of being able to say we can actually set a date for the next in-person one. So we are all hoping with good hope, and I think it'll happen in March. In 2022, when Annabelle will be offering the first in-person YP Lounge back on the tracks again since COVID. And they're going to be talking a real exciting topic about healthy dating. So if you're looking for someone, looking for a new husband or a wife, or then why don't you check out the YP Lounge when Annabelle presents that. So it's certainly going to be exciting. And what I also like about the YP Lounge is that using those models, the great things that are going on in the individual places, LifeCanada is able to now offer that throughout the nation. So what works well in Vancouver, why not apply that in the rest of Canada? So I'm looking forward to being able to offer more events like this on the East Coast, where our side of the things of the world can also be entreated to such wonderful evenings and opportunities. So shout out to Annabelle and the Vancouver Life community, so wonderfully supportive of LifeCanada these many, many years. And we are proud to have you as part of our team leading in this direction. So, George, what is our thermometer doing? Has it risen anymore? Is there time for giveaways, not getaways, giveaways?
There we go. Thank you, Mr. Producer. Our thermometer is inching our way up. The calls are coming in over our website. We're receiving donations. So we are making progress thanks to many of you that are watching Vancouver, Calgary, Alberta, Guelph, Ontario, New Brunswick, PEI, all across our nation. We want to thank so many of you that are joining in this great event tonight. And we do have a winner tonight, Pat, of their first draw of the Echo Dot right here. I'm going to hold it up there, and that's what it looks like. And we want to encourage you folks to leave your comments there so you can be included in the next two draws for this giveaway. But this is going to Bud in Guelph, Ontario. Bud, we want to thank you for participating tonight. And this will be coming out to you this week as a gift from LifeCanada for participating in tonight's virtual gala. So thank you for your support. Congratulations. And send us those comments there. We want to hear your questions and comments. And the next thing we want to talk a little bit about is our national media campaign. Pat, you alluded to that a little bit earlier. And on the screen here, you'll see a slide. This was a great event this year that we produced some unique and new themes that were available to the member groups across Canada. And of course, some groups participated and some decided to postpone for this year because of COVID and other reasons. But particularly in the city of Vancouver, thanks to some generous donors, we were able to put these great ads on buses and benches and some billboards in different places in Alberta and British Columbia. And so that's one example of some of the great things that LifeCanada National does by producing unique and effective media campaigns that are available for the member groups and others that would like to use some of these materials to raise awareness about life. That adoption is an option, that women that are facing unexpected pregnancies, there are great resources through LifeCanada National, and we are available there to help them. And so check out our website. If you want to go to the website that talks more about the media campaign, you can go to loveforlife.ca. And there you can see some of the billboards and all the resources that we have available, courtesy of LifeCanada National. And so the next thing we want to introduce to you tonight is one of the executive directors in the interior of BC. And his name is Marlon Bertram, and he has been executive director there for quite a few years. And so we hope you enjoy this little segment from Marlon in Kelowna, British Columbia.
Hi everyone, I hope you're all having a good time tonight. My name is Marlon. I am with the Kelowna Right to Life Society. I've been with this organization for about 18 years now, and during that entire time we have been members with LifeCanada. And I've really come to believe that it's just so important, the work that we do, that LifeCanada does. If we're ever going to enact legislation in this country, we really need to turn the culture toward a pro-life point of view. We need to have a majority pro-life culture of life in this country. And LifeCanada represents that national voice. They're effective. They come up with some great campaigns. They offer great resources for all the local groups to improve what they're doing on at a local level, as well as their national campaigns, of course. So I really just think it's so important to have that national group in place. And so please include LifeCanada in your Christmas giving. Even become a monthly donor is fantastic. And of course tonight here at the event, if you could support them, that would be great. I really think we need to change as many hearts and minds as possible, and we need a national group in place in order to do that. So thank you very much for all of you for being pro-life and for supporting LifeCanada. God bless.
Thank you, Marlon. That was absolutely wonderful. And I just want to again compliment the many men and women like Marlon. He stands for many of you this evening as long-time warriors. He's been there since the beginning. He said, I think it was 18 years that he mentions, involved in Kelowna, BC, working for life and the Right to Life Society over there in the many ways they do that, as well as on this national level. And this is so typical of the pro-life movement and pro-life warriors, we call us, who work in so many capacities, in their national, in their local, in their churches. They wear many hats. Some of us are directors and board members at the same time for different and varying organizations, but it seems that they're all related, because the cause to be that voice for life, to proclaim the goodness of life. So something so simple as life is good, life is beautiful, and all life is worth living. It seems so simple when I think of you watching this gala this evening, but it's not a simple message for so many. So many don't see it that way, and we must proclaim that, to say it's just that simple. All life is worth living, and it's all worth defending from every age and every stage. And I just want to shout out again to men and women like Marlon, who are working every day in silent capacity in their communities, proclaiming that message, not only with voice and word, but also through their lives as husbands, wives, fathers, mothers, brothers, and sisters. In all those capacities, we speak life, and we speak life to those who ask us why, so that we can defend this and say, because it is good. So thank you again to the many who are supporting us either in their work like Marlon is, or who are capable of being our donors, that we provide those resources that we can use to make those resources and publications, produce films like these, so that you can hear the message and take this to your homes across Canada, because that's what we're about, is spreading the word. So thank you again, and thank you for the many who have already donated. I've see that our thermometer is rising bit by bit, so it's an exciting evening. And we're going to hear a little bit more from George. I believe has a few more things to let us know about donating, and then we're going to meet a very interesting gentleman. So first, George, what do you have to say? Is there any more advancement on our thermometer?
Well, thanks, Pat. Good comments and much appreciated. Exciting days at LifeCanada National. And yes, our thermometer, thanks to people that are calling into our phone lines tonight, $190 just came in from Vermilion, Alberta, and $50 from Strathcona, Alberta. And so we are making progress, and we want to encourage you tonight, live streamed coast to coast here in Canada. Pick up that phone and give us a call at our toll-free number there. You're seeing it on the screen, or go to our brand new website at lifecanada.org. We'd love to hear from you in the comments section as well. And your donations, every dollar is going towards helping make an impact for life in our nation in the days and months to come. And so give us a call. We want to hear from you. And those donations are going to help to change lives in many, many wonderful ways. But it's a partnership with us and you to get the job done. And so with those comments, leave some comments in the comments section. Make sure that your name's in for the next draw for the next Alexa Bluetooth that we want to give away tonight, just as a small token of thanks. I think I said Strathcona, Alberta, but it's that donation just came in from Strathcona, PEI. So thank you to the folks there in Strathcona, PEI. Been there. Pat, know exactly where that is. All right. And with those thoughts, I'm going to turn it over to you, Pat, to talk about our next video segment that we're going to introduce before we hear from Ashley Bratcher, the famous Hollywood actress from the Unplanned movie in not too distant future, but we've got a few things to share before we do that. So over to you, Pat.
Yes, the evening is only still going to get better yet. One thing what lies on my heart that I did want to mention is that when we speak life in all areas. So often we have the view of the mom who's debating whether to keep her pregnancy, and most certainly that is one of the most vulnerable situations that a young woman can find herself in. And one of the things which seems to need a lot more attention, I think, is the fact that the blessings that adoption can provide for a family. Not only for the young mother to know that her child is going to go into a home where there's great care and desire for her child to be loved and to love, and also for the family that is blessed through the gift of this young woman placing her child in adoption. This is an area that should be hung high and held up for so many to see the great good that this provides in our society today. So adoption in Canada is one of the main areas that LifeCanada has worked on. If you'd like to find a little bit more about that, we have on our new website that George was just mentioning, the loveforlife.ca, got to remember that, loveforlife.ca, drop down there, which explains more on adoption and some of the information that deals with that. So if you know someone who is, concerned about the future of their child, and perhaps adoption might be something that would be a wonderful way to gift someone with life, to gift the child the beauty of being able to live life to the fullest in a family that loves beyond all compare. So adoption has so many blessings in our society and needs to be spoken about more as one of the great goods that we have. On the other side of our pro-life work, in not only the babies and those beautiful areas, but we also do a lot for defending the elderly. Our Dying Healed program, as we spoke about, speaks on that, and we have many who work in that area. One of our new board members has just come on board this fall, and I'm sure you're familiar with him. His name is Alex Schadenberg. Alex Schadenberg works for the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition, and that's his specialty, to speak on how to prevent euthanasia deaths through the political program called MAID, or Medical Assistance in Dying. He spends many of his efforts doing that. The slides you see coming up now is a support program that reaches out and enhances the work that for life in Canada, the Dying Healed. The purpose, as you can read, says that volunteers, to give them that confidence they need to go into bedsides, the homes of the lonely and the dying, to be that presence, which is such an invaluable service, just to be. There's no words necessarily needed to be said, but you are the face and the company saying, I am with you. You are not alone. And one of the sad statistics that we've recently heard in Canada is that loneliness is one of the main reasons why people are choosing to end their life too soon. And loneliness is something that we can work against. All it takes is a voice, a hand, and a body to go through and say, I am here. So our Dying Healed program, as we've mentioned, reaches out to train those volunteers, to train facilitators. And I think that's one of the reasons why Alex joined our board. So he works, as I said, in the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition, a little bit of a different mandate, but he's sharing his talents with us in speaking on how important it is that those who work for life work together in unity. So perhaps we now can listen to Alex's video. He sent us a message from also London, Ontario, and I'm sure we'll have it up on the screen in a few minutes. Oh, I hope more than a few minutes. It's got to go in a few seconds now, doesn't it? Alex?
Hello, my name is Alex Shadberg. I'm the Executive Director of the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition, and I'm speaking to you today right now about LifeCanada, the organization that you're hearing so much about at this very moment. And it's a national group which helps to coordinate activities throughout Canada. And the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition looks at the importance of LifeCanada, because LifeCanada is an organization that is not in itself working on its own, but it's working with others. It works together. And this is an important, successful way of doing things. Coordinating, working together. The Euthanasia Prevention Coalition, as you know, we're focused on euthanasia and assisted suicide only, but that makes LifeCanada a very important partner in trying to keep Canadians protected from euthanasia and assisted suicide by sharing information, by recognizing the importance of, this common front that we have in these issues. I also want to thank the many people who have been involved with the Dying Healed program. There are many people who have been trained to be involved with the Dying Healed program throughout Canada. And I think this is a very important work that has to be done. There are so many people today who are lonely, who need somebody in their life. And the Dying Healed program helps with that very issue. It helps to prevent euthanasia and assisted suicide. So once again, I'm saying that LifeCanada is an important organization, and it's something that is worth supporting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex, for speaking to us. And I also want to thank Alex for his time and his talent. He's been a wonderful resource for our new board, because his experience through the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition is not restricted just to Canada, but to worldwide. So he's got a wonderful perspective and a wealth of knowledge, which comes to our aid and asset here in our work so that we can better serve Canadians right here. Thank you again for that wonderful message, and we're going to do great work in the next couple of years together. I'm so pleased that he's on our team for that. So, George, what have we got now to talk about? We got something on that phenomenon.
Well, we're definitely making progress, and we want to thank so many of you that have called in. Others have given over the website. And but we really need to hear from many more tonight to get to our goal of $25,000 tonight, to invest in our programs, to help grow our programs, and to help enhance our programs, because we want to make sure they're the most up-to-date, meeting the society and the world we're living in. We don't want to change the message. We don't want to change the mission. But we do want to make sure the graphics and the content is up to date, so that our member groups and others that use our materials have the best quality resources for the communities that they work in. And so we want to challenge you again to call our toll-free number. The ladies there are waiting to take your call tonight. Whether you can give large or small, every dollar will help make a difference in our programs. for women that are facing a crisis, programs that educate the public in churches of all denominations and Catholic churches as well. And some of you maybe tonight can give a big generous donation of $1,000 or more to help get that thermometer up to our goal tonight. So give us a call. The lines are open. You can call us at 1-866-780-5433, or you can give over our website as well, our brand new website. Check it out at lifecanada.org. Okay, and help us get to our goal tonight. And of course, if you want to be included in the Alexa draw tonight, make sure you put some of those comments or questions in there, and our producers in the background will make sure they get that information over to us. So thank you again so much for participating tonight. Pat, going to turn it back to you for our next segment.
Thank you again, George. So there's going to be some more lucky winners, I'm sure, this evening, and that's always exciting. It's it's always fun doing these kinds of things because it's nice to just have some fun and games in it. It's a little bit nerve-wracking from my end, I'll tell you, to make sure that we get everything all in the right little row. We make all these great plans, and life happens. So that's always a bit of a fun and games aspect, but I think that's part of the thrill of doing these kinds of events. And I hope you're having a good time on your end, laughing about us over here. So, and me learning all the ropes on this. George is pretty much a professional, but I'm the newbie on this one today. So I did want to say that we just got our slides mixed up a little bit there, because our next guest is actually involved directly in the Dying Healed program. She works, let me get this right, in Saskatoon for the chaplaincy service in the Diocese of Saskatoon. This wonderful woman, Jacqueline Soretsky, has been working with the Dying Healed program in a very competent and expanded manner. She's brought Dying Healed to many parishes within the Diocese of Saskatoon and has had a wonderful success in training facilitators, those men and women to go out to teach on Dying Healed, as well as the volunteers directly, those men and women who are going into the homes of the elderly and the lonely. So Jacqueline has spent many years on this. She's had some wonderful successes, and she has graciously offered us a message today to talk a little bit about what the kind of work that she has been doing and the experiences that she has. Most certainly, the Dying Healed program is a heartfelt program. This is far more about heart than head. It's about being there for everyone. And yes, it is a program that is focused on the dying because its very name, Dying Healed, meaning resolved, at peace, one with oneself and neighbors and family. This is a great gift that we can give people to enable them to be able to part with this world in peace and in joy. So many are troubled and carry so much weight. And to have that opportunity to spend time and in conversation and resolution with friends, whether it's making a picture book or an album or just talking with one another, the Dying Healed program offers all these various opportunities because someone is making time for life. And in fact, that's the little slogan of the Dying Healed program, to make time for life. And how about we hear now from Jacqueline herself on this program. By the way, Dying Healed was a program originally created for LifeCanada. I think many of you know its author, Natalie Sonnen, who's done very well in that. And of course, Anastasia Bowles, who's been absolutely instrumental in teaching men and women like Jacqueline. So a big shout out to them and for their wonderful work that they have provided LifeCanada to take into the next years and generations. So Jacqueline, let's hear from you.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Soretsky. I'm the coordinator of hospital chaplaincy for the Saskatoon Diocese here in Saskatchewan. The Diocese of Saskatoon purchased the Dying Healed program in 2017, and since then we've held 17 workshops, and out of those 17, approximately 468 participants. And some of the comments that we've received back from the participants is that they feel that the Dying Healed program presents compelling reasons why people should volunteer to visit or support the sick, lonely, elderly, and the homebound, to prevent loneliness and social isolation, leading to the consideration of euthanasia or assisted suicide. So, as stated in the workshop, one of the volunteers gave some feedback, and they said where it states these tragedies might have been avoided through the gentle care of another person really struck a chord with a lot of the people attending the workshop. Some of the other comments were compassionate, active listening is probably the most important skill needed in any kind of pastoral visit. This must be properly addressed and emphasized as the how to accompany these vulnerable people. Other comments, I especially liked how to interact with people who are suffering and to understand what people feel on suffering and being a burden. A lot of people gave feedback on suffering. They felt that this was such a crucial part of the Dying Healed program as it addressed something that is a really difficult topic to talk about. My own recollections are that the material in the Dying Healed workshop covers all areas in end-of-life care extensively. And what enhances the workshop are testimonies and experiences that I give from over 10 years of ministry experience in hospital chaplaincy, as well as the stories and testimonies of others attending the workshop. I encourage others to ask difficult questions while in the workshop so that we can discuss it together. It's in people's stories and these testimonies that we learn as it brings the information in the workshop into real life. I've had people call me asking if there's going to be another Dying Healed workshop in our area. There is continued interest, so we will keep going.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for the work that you do in Saskatoon. As she mentioned, she is the coordinator for the hospital and the chaplaincy center there. And every one of our hospitals has this outreach avenue. And there are many men and women across Canada who spend hours working with the ill, the suffering, the confused, those who just need a friend to talk to. So it is so, so valuable, the work you do. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart again for women like Jacqueline and the many that she has taught and the many that have gone forward and will teach again. And across our country, all those of you who work in this capacity, it is truly a gift. So thank you so much for those that dedication that you show to life in Canada. Our evening is not quite over yet. We are going to have another giveaway. And then our exciting keynote speaker, Ashley Bratcher, is coming up with a wonderful message of hope and perseverance. So for now, I'm going to turn it over to George, and he might have a giveaway for us.
Thanks, Pat. We definitely do. And drum roll, somebody, please. We are glad to say that we're giving another one of these cool Echo Dot Bluetooth speakers away to Mario. And congratulations, Mario. This is coming out to you. Shout out to him for putting his comments in the comments section. And a little token of appreciation for participating in tonight's virtual gala from your community and supporting life and the work of LifeCanada National. So this will be coming out to you soon for you to enjoy. And we want to encourage you folks, even while we hear from Ashley, your comments, feel free to put them in the chat box. And we'll have one more draw later on in the evening. And while we hear from Ashley in just a few moments, we want to encourage you to help us get to our goal. That little thermometer is edging its way up. Mr. Producer, if we can have that thermometer on the screen. We are making progress towards our goal tonight, thanks to so many of you that have phoned in, that have gone to our website from all across Canada. We are inching our way to our goal tonight. Help us get to our $25,000 goal. And if you have some questions about the work of LifeCanada after tonight, you want to know a financial statement or some of the details, how our money is being spent, we'd love to hear from you. I spoke to a couple in southern Alberta earlier this week who said we'd be interested in knowing about the costs of administration and other things you do. And I had a delightful comment to let them know that the board of directors stewards the resources of LifeCanada National very well. They're a great bunch of leaders, and we as staff are honored to work under the board of directors. So know that your donations, the majority of what you give tonight, is going directly out into the field to help advance pro-life values. So pick up the phone, give us a call. We'd love to hear from you. That number again is 1-866-780-5433. There's ladies in the office there waiting to take your call. take your questions. If you have a credit card handy, please have it ready, and they will take that information right now over the phone. It's a secure line, and you can also give over the website, lifecanada.org. Okay, but help us get to our goal tonight to help change lives. And with those comments, now I'm going to throw it over to Pat Wiedemer, and she is going to introduce our special guest speaker that you're just going to be blown away by her story that you're going to see tonight from her home in the United States. Pat, over to you.
Thank you, George. I am absolutely thrilled to be able to introduce Ashley Bratcher as our keynote speaker for this event this evening. Ashley Bratcher is the lead actress in the film Unplanned. Now, I'm quite sure you're familiar with Abby Johnson's story, which was featured in that very film called Unplanned. Abby Johnson used to work in a Planned Parenthood facility, and over a period of 8 years was made aware of what she was actually doing. And the shock of this is a tremendous story. It was a tremendous conversion story. It's a tremendous story of life, of how one moved from facilitating the end of life to now completely and totally upholding the life. So, of course, we're familiar with Abby Johnson, but in like all things, like this gala, you see George and I, but there are so many people behind it. And Ashley was the one that portrayed Abby Johnson in this movie. When we were looking for a speaker for this event, we looked at different names and different people. And when we met Ashley and spoke with her about her story and how she could share this with us, I was thrilled. And what convicted me so much about her story was the authenticity of it. She truly spoke from herself, from her own heart. And when I was starting out, I always seek advice on these kinds of things. And so I asked someone who had been in the TV business for a long time, I said, how do you do this to not be nervous and not worry about all the things that you got to think and say about? And he just looked at me and said, Pat, be authentic. Just be yourself. So this is what, when I heard and met Ashley on our first Zoom call together, this is what convicted me. And I hope you'll see this in her story as well. Because if we're speaking on life, we have to speak from the heart. We have to speak truly and completely from our heart and in open honesty. And that's why it's a vulnerable topic. And so I just want you to be excited about Ashley. I want to already say thank you to her in advance for the great gift of her sharing her story this evening. I hope you are as thrilled and as touched as I am by listening to Ashley Bratcher's story of how she became the lead actress in Unplanned and the backstory behind this in her own personal life. So sit back and enjoy.
Hi, my name is Ashley Bratcher, and I am so excited to be here with you tonight. Thank you for being here to support the pro-life work of Life Canada. Can't wait to share my testimony with you about how I got from where I was to where I am as a proud pro-lifer. I'm the lead actress from the movie Unplanned, which chronicles the true story of one woman's transformation from Planned Parenthood clinic director to pro-life advocate. It's a really incredible story. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's a wonderful tool to help start conversations in the pro-life movement. So, my testimony, where do I begin? I grew up in rural North Carolina, and I didn't have a great childhood. There was domestic violence and alcoholism in my home, but I did have 3 really wonderful grandmothers who started planting seeds of faith in my life. And as I grew up, I didn't understand exactly what faith was supposed to look like, but I did know that God was real. I just had this love-hate relationship with him. You see, because I thought that being a Christian meant you had a checklist of things that you could and you couldn't do, because that's religion, right? I had no idea what a relationship was. So I rebelled as a teenager. And when I went off to college with my high school sweetheart, David, we went all the way through to our senior year, and I had 1 elective class that I was short to be able to graduate. And so I thought, well, I'll take an acting class. Now stay with me, because all of this means something, I promise. Signed up for this acting class, it was really fun. I went on a date with David to the North Carolina State Fair. And while we were at that fair, we were walking through this lineup of booths, and I looked up and one of them said, "Do you want to be an actor?" And I thought, yeah, why not? I'm qualified. I'm taking an acting class. So I walk in, I auditioned for this tiny little local commercial. I ended up booking it, got signed with an agent. They took me to New York City, had 21 contract offers with agents and managers to move to New York City. So I graduated college. David had 1 semester left. And I said, I'm gonna go up to New York and I'm gonna plan our life. We're gonna get married. I'm gonna be rich and famous. It's gonna be fantastic. I get up there and none of those things happen. It was actually quite the opposite. I would walk into auditions and I would have casting directors and producers look at me and tell me I was too fat, or I was too short, or I wasn't good enough. Any number of things that really weighed on me because I didn't have a firm foundation for my identity and my worth. And I was placing all of that in my success as an actor, which was completely non-existent. I started to get really depressed and I started to drink a lot, and I put David through a lot. So during that time he broke up with me, and here I was depressed, drinking, and all alone in New York City. One night I was drinking so heavily that it was 4 o'clock in the morning. I was stumbling through a dark alleyway, and this cab driver from the street yelled down and he said, "Miss, will you please get in my cab and let me take you home?" And I said, "No, I don't have any money." And he said more sternly, "Miss, will you please get in my cab and let me take you home?" So I did, and that man not only drove me home, but he got out and he walked me to my door to make sure that I was okay. And I mention that story because of my grandmas, because I think that one of the most important things that you can do for the children in your life is to pray for them. Because I have no doubt that their prayers were heard, and that was protection and providence. I really do. And it also created this inescapable God awareness for me, in the sense that I knew who God was, and even if I didn't want him to be there and I was pushing him away, he was still there, and I still knew that. And that night when I went to bed, I had the most vivid dream I can remember, where I was standing on the edge of this skyscraper, right on the edge, and I was looking out and I could see all the buildings in New York City, and I just remember looking down and thinking all I wanted to do was jump. So when I woke up the next morning, I knew that if I didn't change my life, that was where I was going to end up. So I called one of my grandmas and I said, "I don't think this is good for me. I think I need to come home." So I went back home with nothing, essentially. And I had this hole in my heart that I was really seeking to fill in all the wrong ways. And I was still seeking to be loved by David, but I didn't know what that was supposed to look like. And so in the pursuit of getting back together with him, I ended up experiencing my own unplanned pregnancy. But abortion never crossed my mind, because I knew that there was this tiny life growing inside of me. And it wasn't necessarily that I was opposed to abortion for someone else, but for me, I didn't want to have an abortion. So we decided that we were going to raise our son and we were going to do the best we could. And here I was, single, jobless, on WIC and Medicaid to get through this pregnancy. It was really hard to walk into the grocery store in the same town where I grew up and have people who knew me watch me pay for my groceries with WIC. It was so difficult and so humbling and so challenging. But when my son was born, I looked at him and something clicked for me. And I thought, if I can love this tiny little human this much, how much more must our Heavenly Father love us? And for the first time, I understood relationship. I understood what a good Father that we have and how much He loves us, more than we can even imagine. And we wanted our son to know God, and we wanted to be incredible parents. So about a month after my son was born, David and I finally got married. And today we've been together for 18 years, I think, total. He's a good man, and we need more good men to step up to the plate, to not abandon these women, but to show them what good men do. I was one of the lucky ones. after my son was born, I decided I need this job with benefits, because when you're a grown-up taking care of a kid, you need benefits. So I started teaching middle school art, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. I did that for 3 years, and I would go into class every single day, and I would pour into these kids and then say, if you have this passion in your heart, then it's there for a reason and you should pursue it. And I would go home and I would think to myself, am I really doing what I think I'm supposed to be doing? What God has called me to do? And I didn't want to have all these regrets later in life. I didn't want to be 50 years old and look back and be resentful to my husband, or have my child believe that I had to give up my dreams because of him. Because women can be successful and they can pursue their dreams. Sometimes it just takes a little extra time and a little extra help. And so I had decided, I'm going to give this to God. And if he wants me to do this, then he'll bless it. I'd already given him my life, why not my career? So I went out to Wilmington, North Carolina, where we were living close to at the time, and I started auditioning and I started working almost immediately, back to back to back. Now, they weren't big glamorous jobs. That took a little effort to get to the place where I am now, but it taught me more humility. And over the course of 3 to 5 years, I started to build up somewhat of a following on Instagram. Come to 2018, I have this woman reach out to me on Instagram, and she says, Ashley, you don't know me, but I've been praying for you for about a year, and the Lord has told me that you're meant to play the role of this woman named Abby Johnson. Ha! Thought she was crazy. And I just said, oh, you're so sweet, thank you. And I didn't talk to her again. But 2 weeks later, in her obedience to the prompting of the Holy Spirit, she reaches out to me and says, Ashley, did you ever audition? I'm telling you, I really believe this. I think you're the one. Will you audition, please? And she was so confident and so convincing that I said, okay, fine. Have somebody send me the script. I'll take a look at it and audition. Well, they only sent me a couple of pages. And from what I could tell in the script, Abby worked at Planned Parenthood, and she was really funny and witty and charismatic. And I thought, okay, why not? So I auditioned. And after I auditioned, I thought, I wonder what this lady is like in real life. So I looked her up, and one of the very first things that I saw was her testimony, where she described what happened during an ultrasound-guided abortion, where she watched a 13-week-old baby fight for its life. And it totally wrecked me, because I realized that I had been lied to, that I was deceived by the narrative that told me that abortion was nothing and it was just a clump of cells and it was no big deal. And I felt really stupid, because here I was, I had my own child. I had seen all of the stages of prenatal development, and I didn't know what happened during an abortion procedure. So it became very convicting to me in my spirit that I wanted to be a part of telling this movie. It would not leave me. And a couple of weeks later, the producers call me up and they say, hey, Ashley, you're in top consideration for this role. And I was so excited. And they said, but we have one question for you. How do you feel about never working again? Because you could get blacklisted and you may never work again as an actor. But you see, I finally knew who I was in Christ. And I was able to say without hesitation, I don't find my value or my worth in my projects. My identity is rooted in Jesus Christ. And I poured out my heart to them, and they said, okay, well, great. We have one other person in consideration, so we'll get back to you. And I'm thinking, this is torture. But I wait, and the next day, hours went by, and I'm just praying, God, please, you can open doors no man can close. And before I can finish praying, my phone rings, and it's the producer, and he says, Ashley, I'm so excited to offer you the role. Can you get on a plane in 4 hours? That's not how it usually works. But I said, I guess nothing's impossible. Call my husband, babe, I'm so excited, I got the role, I can't wait. By the way, I have to leave before you get home from work. But again, God had prepared us. So I was able to get on that plane, fly out to Oklahoma, not knowing Abby, learning the lines, reading her book, talking to everybody, getting all these different costumes, having my hair colored, all these different things were happening. And on the 4th day, I realized when my mom called me that I hadn't even told her where I was. But as I got ready to tell her about the movie, I paused, because I didn't want to hurt her. I knew that she had had an abortion when she was 16. I didn't want her to feel judged. I didn't want her to think I thought anything less of her, and this movie was all about grace and forgiveness. So I very delicately started telling her about Abby's story, and she broke down crying, just bawling. And she said, Ashley, I need to tell you something I never told you before. What you don't know is when I was 19 years old, I was in the abortion clinic for the 2nd time. And I was on the table, and a pregnant nurse walked in, and I got really sick to my stomach, and I couldn't go through with it. I got up, I walked out, and I chose to have you. And the only way I know how to describe what I felt was like a near-death experience. Because here I was, and I've had all these experiences and these people in my life, and I just realized I was only seconds, minutes away from never having the opportunity to walk this earth and live these experiences. Because you see, abortion has a ripple effect that you don't even realize. I was never mad. I was so grateful to my mom for choosing life, but even more so, I was affirmed that God is real and He has a plan for every single life. Not only that baby, not only me, whose life He had planned from conception to this moment in time, but every single baby that you or that woman in crisis is carrying and a plan for her life as well. Because my circumstances didn't define me. They only made me stronger to get me to where I am. And there was help along the way. I just had to hold my hand out and take it. So from that experience, I just became so affirmed. And I understood finally that me saying I would never have an abortion, but I wouldn't impede on somebody else's decision to, that is not being pro-life, that is being pro-choice, because there is no middle ground. My life is just one example of the many faces of the victims of abortion. I'm a survivor. Thank God for that. I'm here to tell my story, but so many aren't. Every life is so valuable and so important. So if you take anything away from what I'm telling you tonight, encourage other people in the same. That they are here for a reason. That baby is intended to be here for a reason. Life is so precious. Most of us that are sitting here tonight, whether you're watching or you're in a room with someone else, we don't have to worry about what it would be like to have to buy a pack of diapers. We don't have to worry that our electric is going to get turned off because we can't pay the bills. But for some women, that is a life or death decision. So I'm asking you tonight to consider giving to the work that LifeCanada is doing. Because your gift doesn't only make a difference to a mom, it saves a life. It saves a baby's life. For me, that's something you can never put a price tag on. No matter how small, whether it be financially or volunteering or praying, check your heart and see how much you can give tonight. And you can do that by calling the toll-free number on the screen or going to the website right now, because you will help LifeCanada reach even more people. Help them reach their fundraising goal so that they can change more lives. And I just pray that by blessing other people, your life will be blessed. Because when you pour out of your cup, God will always pour back in. And know that this is such an incredible gift. So many lives will be changed by what you're doing. So if you can make a one-time gift, great. If you can become a monthly donor, even better. It's so important. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I pray that you are so blessed, and I hope that my story is encouraging to you, inspiring to you, and that you can share it with someone else to say, yes, you can, and yes, God can. Have a great night, and thank you again.
Wow. Go, Ashley. Ashley, thank you so much for your words tonight and your story and your transparency. Wow, you blew us away. I'm sure as you're watching tonight, you would agree with that. She's really taken a stand. Her heart is being changed. It's tough to do what she's done. So Ashley, with that, thank you for your support. We hope you enjoyed Ashley's first person testimonial tonight of the impact of her acting in the Unplanned movie. And she's given us all a challenge tonight, for all of us watching tonight, to support the work of Life Canada to help us reach our goal, $25,000 tonight, to help change lives across the nation. There's a couple of ways you can get involved tonight, and that is by making a one-time donation by calling our toll-free number, or by going to our website tonight at lifecanada.org. There's going to be people after we close out this evening that will take your calls for a while. But of course, you can call our office anytime this week. Maybe you want to talk to your spouse and figure out exactly what you'd like to do. Maybe you'd like to sponsor one of our special projects. But you can pick up the phone and give us a call at 1-866-780-5433. And the other thing you'll see on there that we had on the previous slide there, if we go back to it, Mr. Producer, thank you, David, and that is we want to challenge you to join as a monthly partner of our work and help make a difference year-round through the work of LifeCanada National, giving quality programs to our nation, to people in churches, Catholic, Protestant, everybody that needs tools and quality resources to get the word out about life in our nation. And so give us a call, again, at our toll-free number. The ladies are there right now. And just a reminder that every gift that you give tonight is tax deductible. You'll receive a tax receipt in the mail in February next year. You'll receive a thank you this week, a phone call or a card from our office for thank you for participating in tonight's gala, but you'll also receive an official tax receipt to reduce your taxes. Now, the other thing we want to mention to you tonight, before I throw it over to Pat Wiedemer, our board chair, as she winds up the evening, and that is that we have a winner for our third draw of the Echo Dot. And there it is on the screen, great Bluetooth speaker. And the winner tonight, drum roll please, is going to be Helen. Helen, you know who you are. We want to thank you for your comments tonight on the chat screen on the YouTube feed there. And Helen, we'd like you to, please, if you want to claim your prize tonight of the Echo Dot, please email us at info@lifecanada.org, and we'll make sure that we get this little gift out to you as our token of appreciation for your support tonight. Okay, if you have questions about the work of Life Canada, give us a call anytime. We're there in the office. You can email us 24 hours a day by going to our website, lifecanada.org. And if you want to volunteer in some way, you think you've got a skill or some way, we'd love to talk to you. Maybe you have some kind of asset. We are now in a position that if you want to donate publicly traded stock to help the work of LifeCanada National, you can do that and avoid a lot of capital gains taxes. And so it's simple to do. And if you'd like to call and ask for me, George Glover, I'm the development director, send us an email or give us a call, and we'd be glad to explain how our stock donation program, whether you give small or large, you can designate it to one of our projects. We'd be glad to explain it to you and how it works. The other thing I want to mention tonight, just before we go over to Pat, is that this will be available on the YouTube channel through a link at lifecanada.org. You and your friends, you can share it with your friends. We'll be mentioning it on Facebook, on eBlasts, and different ways. And so if you'd like to view it again, or you have others that would like to view this production again and Ashley's story, it will be available for replay for the next 30 days. Okay, so help us reach our goal as we go off the air tonight. The phone lines will be open for a while. I want to thank you for participating from coast to coast to help make a difference in lives. So thank you again. God bless you each one. And we wish you the merriest of Christmas as we close out the year. With those thoughts, Pat, we're almost halfway up. As we go off the air,
Looking good.
Pick up that phone. Help us get to our goal. Pat, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, George. Wasn't that an incredible video from Ashley? I tell you, each time we've watched it 3 and 4 times here getting ready for this event. And each time there's a piece of it that really touches my heart. I think something again that struck me tonight was her absolute faith in God to be able to know what was best for her. Pro-lifers, not always, but for the great majority of us, we are godly people. We believe in God, the author of life. And because of that, we can face the challenges that our movement is facing right now with hope and with certainty that we will win this battle. Life always wins. And to hear that from Ashley's story, and how much faith we can have in a good Father like our Lord, and the Lord of life. And that just keeps coming back to me, because what does he promise us? He promises us life in abundance, life to the full. So tonight, obviously this is a gala to raise funds so that we can provide resources to you, member groups, to the individuals, to churches, as George has mentioned, in many capacities, in many ways, so that when you're encountered with someone who's asking questions, that you'll be empowered to speak life competently, confidently, and right there, right then, whether it's the grocery store, street side, your parish group, your school PTA office, wherever that is, that you've got that knowledge, you can take that forth. And that's how we will make this country a country of life to the full. And one of the other great assets of this is that if we have a God of abundance who's ready to provide everything we need, then we never have to worry about lack. Which means that little kind of conflict that many of us have. Well, what about my local group? And what about a national group? How can I support both? Are our means limited? Well, no. You see, because if God is a God of abundance, then there's enough for everybody. We have to firmly and completely and wholly trust there will be enough. It's very important that you support your local groups. Without our local groups, they can't take the message forward. They can't do meetings. They can't do the many things that they do, or the boots on the ground, as they say. But we also need a national voice. So think deeply, ponder deeply, take these words to heart, and trust, pray, and say, God, where do we need? How can we help more our local group and our national voice? Because we all need that support. And I think God will direct us. In fact, I know. I'm absolutely convinced that there will be enough. LifeCanada will go brazenly into the future and be able to carry out this message of life and love and beauty in our country. So I thank you so much this evening for spending an hour with us and engaging with us virtually, albeit in this case tonight. And one day we shall be back in person, so that we can meet face to face and hear and meet these wonderful people who came to us and delivered their messages virtually across the country, from British Columbia through to the Atlantic provinces. We have heard from so many in Canada, and I know that you have been listening with us and pondering and praying for us and wishing us well. We're entering into the Christmas season. Tomorrow is the first Sunday of Advent for those of you who celebrate the Advent season. And we'll be lighting our first candle. It's the season of light. It's the season of life. Through a child, life came into the world and darkness was dispelled. This is the meaning of Christmas. And this is the meaning of our work, because we work for the Lord of life. Help us to be that light in areas across our country that need to hear this message of love and life. I know that you will. Thank you so much. I thank George Glover for being and spending time and guiding us through this evening tonight. I thank the many technical people, our producer David and Desiree and Janita and Rachel, who have all worked so hard on the technical side of things. I thank our staff members, Annabelle and Anastasia, and I thank the many of you who have gone forth before us as presidents, board members, and so forth in all the capacities that people have helped. And above all, I thank you, our donors, because truly, without your support, we cannot make this work. And we rest assured, indebted to you and your graciousness and your generosity, that you will keep us going into the next years. So thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you all. Remember, our lines are still open. The ladies are going to do an extra couple hours of work, waiting for calls and being there. And even if you just want to chat and say, hey, what about this? What about that? They're there for you. And if it's not good today, then give us a call during the week. Send us an email. We love to chat and would love to meet you personally someday. So thank you very much. Thank you, George, again. And I think we're ready to call this an evening. So baptism by fire tonight, everybody. I made it through my first virtual gala, and I'm thrilled to have been your host this evening. This is Pat, your board chair from Life Canada, saying goodnight to you from Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, representing all of Canada this evening.